Welcome to SOTEX web episodes. And today we are here with us with our expert panelist again, Mr. Gagan Kapoor, co-founder of Winning Mantra. And we have Mr. Sandeep Kaushik. He's also a co-founder of Winning Mantra. So these are the new opportunities that are coming into where the global buyers are looking at India as the potential export manufacturer and supplier to the rest of the countries. Yes, there is a shift towards from the China. So while all these opportunities are gearing up in the from the global world, how we can leverage on these particular opportunities, or हम इन सारी opportunities को कैसे we can take this stride and we can make sure that these opportunities are being fulfilled and are coming to our manufacturers and our community of exporters at large. So I would like to formally open up this today's session. So today's session is all about the export growth, and today's masterclass is all about learning how to set up, how to run, expand the textile export business. In today's session, we had got a particularly, we had association coming from FICCI. So FICCI as the largest trade body is supporting this event. GAIR, which is a Government Exporters Association of Rajasthan, that association is also part of our support network. And we have a third unique association called JBN, which is a Jain Business Network, which is spread across India in 70 cities. That is also part of this today's session. So they are all supporting the export growth program, and that's what the area and agenda is for today. SOTEX is offering smart tools. So these are the tools which are there with 6,000 plus, in different segments. We have about 6,000 plus companies in this particular network on our platform, which are registered with us. The network spans from the fashion brands to the garment manufacturers, home textile manufacturers, weavers, knitters, spinners, trims manufacturers, and allied services providers. We are also, as this platform, we are also support body for FICCI's annual Expo event, which is a 365 days event, which is spread, which is one of India's largest event happening virtually at this point of time, with about 1,800 exhibitors are participating in this event. So anyone who would like to understand and would like to know the benefits of this particular event and how they can put their products and services to the global audience, please reach out to us. We are also officials, channel partners for FICCI in this particular initiative from textile and fashion industry. I would like to start by introducing our first panelist today, Mr. Sandeep Kaushik. He's a co-founder of Winning Mantra and a CEO of Macau Books, Book Matrix, and Funland Box. He's got about 20 years of experience in the export industry. He's been exporting to about 97 countries and has exhibited to more than 32 countries. He's been a trainer for 6 years and has made a difference to about 2,200 aspirant exporters. And his hobby is traveling, networking, building relationship is one of his main area. The second co-founder we have with us is Mr. Gagan Kapoor from Winning Mantra. He's a chief consultant for Go for Growth Consulting as well. He's the founder and CEO of Sero VMS app, India's first exhibition visitor management app. And he's also India's first exhibition strategy coach. He's got 20 years of experience in the exhibition domain, and internationally, he is a certified trainer as well. He heads the training and is a senior consultant in BNI Gurgaon and national trainer at BNI India. He's trained over 27,000 people in last 7 years, and he's an avid reader. He reads about 3 books in a month. So with this, I would like to call both of them and would like to pass on with Gagan to take up today's session. Welcome, Gagan.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sonil, for this wonderful introduction. And I am going to, before I actually start and talk about our vision, I would like to give a nice thank you to you for inviting us here and me and Sandeep and helping us address our cause, which actually relates to our vision at Winning Mantra, which is changing the way India sells overseas. And this is what we want to do. With our experience over the past number of years, me in the exhibition and the marketing domain, Sandeep in the export domain, in the publishing domain with his books and 21 years of experience, we realized that there is a lot of change which we can bring in the way India is perceived overseas in terms of maximum exporters. And that is what we made our mantra. And we are on a mission. We are on a mission whereby we want to touch the lives of 100,000 entrepreneurs, 1 lakh entrepreneurs by 1st of October 2025. And as a part of that, let me also tell you what all we are doing. As a part of that, what all we do is we do trainings. We do 8 sessions, 8-week training programs, which are currently being conducted online, where we tell people, where we teach people about how to start, build, or grow exports. Number one. Number two, after that, we also talk about the consulting and hand holding. There are some people who need a handhold in building their export verticals. We even do that, and a lot of people, we are already helping them grow their exports or start their exports to a new country. Then we also plan strategic tie-ups. Now, this is something which we do for established exporters who have been there in the system for quite some time. They want an entry into specific region or a country. With our tie-ups all across the world, we plan that. And we also conduct international virtual exhibitions, which are very country-wide or region-specific exhibitions. So this is always the gamut of the services what we provide at Winning Mantra. And with this, I would now like to hand it over to Sandeep Kaushik to talk about the Indian textile industry first. And once we do that, we are going to straight away deep dive into our export plan for today and how you can really start, build, and grow exports. Over to you, Sandeep, but we're talking about this.
Thank you so much, Gagan. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining this afternoon. And let's see what is the industry like? What is the textile industry like at this moment? And of course, you will be surprised and happy to know that it is going to be a $223 billion of industry in 2021. And of course, you as an industry contributes to 2.3% of India's GDP and 13% of complete industrial production. And finally, 12% of country's export earnings, 12%. It's a huge percentage. It's a great big industry. But as an industry, we need to be ready. We need to really take it on our hands that we need to be ready for exports and give amazing products, services, and on timely deliveries to all our buyers across the world and make India a superpower in terms of, textile industry. So today we're going to have a full agenda. I'll be taking almost an hour to give you the systematic approach, how you can build, you can start, you can build, or you can grow your business. So if you're someone who's want to start exporting, you have the whole system for you. Someone who's exporting already, there are some new things which you will find out here, which will help you grow into multiple countries. So it is for everyone. First of all, we'll talk about 8 steps for define your readiness quotient, 6 factors which will help you grow your exports globally, export documentation, legal requirements and subsidies which you get, role of marketing and exhibitions in export, which is very, very important, impact of digital marketing on exports, because digital marketing is the way to go now, 5x your international sales, and making effective export deliveries. So we have a full agenda for you to understand, and I'm sure it is going to add value to your knowledge about exports and how you can really make the most out of it. So to begin with, the first section is all about defining your export readiness quotient. It is for you to assess where you are today and what you need to do to really expand your business. So whether you are an existing exporter or someone who wants to start, it is a time for introspection. First thing is understanding your why. We always say that when the why is strong, you will achieve whatever goals you have in your life. So the why has to be really strong. The why for exporting your products. What is the why? Is it that you have a great infrastructure? Is there a great knowledge about the product line or about some value addition, about sustainable products, about natural fabrics, and something which really defines you from others? So if your why is strong, that is something which really will motivate you to get what you want in your life. But if the why is not clear, I would say to each one of you, please go deep dive and find out that why. And if that why has that emotion, it will really make it very, very strong. Have you defined your USP, your unique selling point as a manufacturer, as someone who's selling some products? What is your USP? When I ask, out of 100, 85 to 90% people say we have great quality products, we have good service, we have timely deliveries. Well, in export business, these are given things. You got to have these. Without them, you can't even start. But what is the USP? USP means that if I'm a buyer and there are 4 people who are doing similar product, why should I buy from you? You have to answer that question. And once you go deep dive into the system, you will find a USP. And if you're not able to find a USP, it's time to create one. It can be some innovation into your line, some new product range, some new add-on service, value addition service you can give to your clients. Think about it. You are the masters of your trade. You will be the best person to find out the USP for your product. Have you gained knowledge of the foreign trade policies? Trade policies are very, very important for each one of you to know because India has trade agreements all over the world. And it makes India preferential manufacturing partner or preferential exporter for certain countries because you get the duty, the import duty in those countries are less for you. So this is something you need to go deep dive. There are sites like indiantradeportal.in where you can find all the trade policies and organizations like SOTEX and all other export promotion councils will give you that knowledge. Get that knowledge. Do you have that knowledge? If yes, great. If not, time to get that. Do you know your HSN code? I'm sure all of you who are exporting must be knowing that. And even in India now, when you travel, when you actually sell in the GST, you do get HSN codes. So HSN codes are required. But for doing international study, the first 6 characters are needed because first 6 characters of your HSN code is common in the whole of world. So what do we do with these codes? We do a complete market potential study of your product. So whatever code you have in, based on that, using multiple sites, you can actually find out the potential of your product, which all countries are preferred. And that is really amazing. You can really find out the places where you need to focus. Setting up your SMART goals for each country and each product. For any business to achieve something in life, you need to have a goal, a SMART goal, a SMART written goal. And what is more important is to actually track them. So once you have a SMART written goal for export, every country, every product, and then you keep tracking them, trust me, you will be able to achieve whatever you want to achieve. So if you have your SMART goal set up already for 2021, great. If not, please sit and create your goals, write them out, make yearly goals, divide them into monthly goals, divide them into weekly goals and your daily goals, and start working on that. And step 7 is all about being compliant with export documentation. The basic documentation you need is an IAC code, an AD code, a normal GST number, and normal PN, PAN, and all that stuff. But yes, for your industry, you might need some certifications, which we'll talk about later. But you should be aware about the legal requirements. And finally, step 8 is, have you invested in building your brand to be export ready? Well, that is something you require because your website, your social media, your signatures, your Zoom background, your everything you do in digital world, because as you know that all the communication, all the meetings, everything is happening online as of now. And maybe 2021 is going to happen the same way. So have you built up your brand online? Is it of international standards? Is your Is your website mobile friendly? Think about it. Go deep dive, look at those. And if they are ready, absolutely great. If they are not, it's time for you to revamp them. That is about understanding the why, and of course, going inside and understanding what all you have and which all areas you need to improve upon. And then we come to sixth factor, which will help you grow your exports globally. So how do you do that? Where do we start? If you're a startup, if you're someone who wants to start export, where do you start? Understand the global market, shortlisting countries to export based on your products, find potential of your product into specific markets, analyzing competition, identifying saturated markets, and product specific buyers. We're going to talk about these 6 things in this session. To begin with, there are 200 plus countries. Where should I start exporting? You can't really start focusing on all 200 plus countries. It's going to be a disaster. You have to be razor focused. You have to be really sharp. And today, we're going to talk about 2 categories in textile exports. It's going to be cotton, or 61 is article of apparels and clothing accessories, knitted and crocheted. So these 2 HSN codes we're going to study today. I'm going to show you how you can do that for any of your product. Any of your product, whether you are into textile industry or any industry, based on your HSN code, based on your 6 digits, you're going to do this study. So the first study we do is find out what is the export worldwide for cotton. And it's whooping $56 billion. $56 billion of export worldwide. China being the number 1, and India is number 3 in cotton exports worldwide. And when it comes to import of the same product, we find it's like $48 billion. China is again the number 1, even in importing that, and India comes at number 7 in importing cotton. This is a worldwide figure. And like this, you can find out a figure for your specific HSN code. Similarly, for articles of apparels, is whooping $237 billion industry. Yes, you heard it right. $237 billion industry. That's the kind of export worldwide for this product. China, again, is the biggest exporter, and India comes in number 7. But India still has $8 billion of export in this particular category. And of course, similarly, for apparels, is 215 billion import. Again, US is the biggest importer. Germany is the number 2. Japan, UK, France, Spain, Italy, Netherlands, Canada. And of course, India doesn't really come into the import category too much. This is how you get the data. This is how you find out various countries. And you will think that why we should start with US. But US is a saturated market. So many suppliers, so many buyers, but still you need to find out different countries. So my recommendation is that don't go for top 2, 3, 5 countries. Find out 15 to 20 countries. And based on some other factors we're going to talk about, we're going to shortlist them to 10 countries and focus on those 10 countries. So shortlisting the 10 target countries. What we do is we find out potential of your product for a specific market or country. So all the 20 countries, we find out the export potential using data, using tools. We'll find out the potential, write them down, and then we'll analyze the competition. Analyzing competition means in those countries, the 20 countries we are shortlisted to shortlist to 10, we need to find out who are the countries who are exporting the most to them, whether it's China or Vietnam or Philippines or whatever it is, and to analyze that competition, analyze how we can better them, and finally find out whether they are saturated market or non-saturated market. So export potential, competition, saturated, non-saturated market, and the steep factors. These are the 5 factors which will help you finalize and shortlist 10 countries for your export. It's going to be social, technical, economical, ecological, and political factors. Whether it's about demographic, about cultural trends, about innovation in technology, about adoption of technologies, values of technology, it's about stability of political thing. Like, for example, Libya was an amazing place where people are exporting a lot, but with political instability in Libya, in Greece, in Syria, the whole system has changed. So these 5 factors will help you finalize and shortlist those 10 countries. And once you've shortlisted those 10 countries, what to do? We need to find out the buyers in these 10 countries. Yes, the buyers in that countries. And how do you do that? We do data analysis. Based on the multiple tools which we give in our masterclass, you can do data analysis and find out lots and lots of buyers from each of those countries. We can use e-commerce sites. Yes, you heard it right. You can see e-commerce site and find out the buyers there. There can be buyers, there can be distributors, but we can get the data from there. There are trade associations like SOTEX. If somebody wants to come and find out the exporters from India, they can come to SOTEX and get the data from SOTEX, and that's where they get all the exporters from India. International exhibitions, whether you're attending, whether you want to attend, or there are virtual exhibitions happening. If you attend, you'll get the data. Even otherwise, you can request them the data, sometimes at a cost, sometimes without a cost, you get the data. And of course, finally, keyword search, which really gives you an amazing opportunities at times. Sometimes you'll find out in a country, there's an association of garment importers. So all that can be done through Google search. There are various ways of finding out the buyers. So within those 10 countries, you're able to find the buyers. You have shortlisted the countries. You have the buyers list. What to do next? Everybody will say, let's send the emails. Not now. Hold on a second. You need to find out the buyers. As I told you, for cotton, we have found out for Turkey. This is one of the ways you do that. We found out the Turkey buyers. Similarly, found out the buyers in Belgium for apparels. Like this, you can actually shortlist those 10 countries. And for each of those countries, you can find a list of buyers. So this is what we talked about, the 6 factors. Essentially, you'll shortlist 10 countries and found the list of buyers. Now what is about export documentation, legal requirements, and subsidies. And you should be thorough at that. This section is really, really important, especially for those who want to start their new business. And also for those who are doing business, there are certain things like the payment security, which is a must for everyone in the export business. So here we go. In between, I just want to tell that if you have any question which pop into your mind, we will be answering each and every question after the end of the session. If something comes to you right away, there's a Q&A box on your system. Just put in your questions there. We'll be really, really happy to take it forward. So documentation, the basic documentation you need is PAN number, GST number, IEC code, AD code, and certifications based on your industry. However, sometimes for industries like food and other places, you need certain licenses, product approval certificate, Ministry of Agriculture permit, and narcotics certificates, especially for food, for pharma, and for cosmetic industry. There are lots and lots of certification. In case of textiles, we don't have too many certifications. Of course, there are standards which you can adopt to, but not certifications. There are lots and lots of export promotion councils. In your case, it could be Apparel Promotion Council, which you should join, because all the government schemes and all the major benefits you'll get from there, and you'll keep hearing the new schemes coming up from the government side through these organizations. And you can actually also take up all the subsidies given by them, by the government, like MEIS scheme, MDS scheme, and all that we'll talk about later through these promotion councils. So if you're a member, great. If you're not, please become member once. Incoterms, the shipping terms are very, very important for you to know. When you're talking to a buyer and we're about to give the price, you should know what kind of shipping terms you're talking about. Whether it's Ex Works, that is when you're handing over your shipment outside your factory, or is it FOB, free on board, where it's from your factory, you send your stuff in a truck, it goes alongside the ship, you do the custom clearance, and the whole shipment is on board. That is what is called port of loading, where you have a free on board shipment. And another one which is very common is CIF, where after the shipment is sailed, the marine insurance and also the cost of insurance is borne by you. And that is a CIF method. It's about seller's obligation, the transfer of risk, and buyer's obligation. So in Ex Works, your obligation is still outside your factory. For FOB, it's up to the port. For CIF, it's up to their port. And similarly, you can go up to DDP, where it's up to the destination. So when you talk to your buyer, you should be aware about the shipping terms they're looking at, or you tell them what shipping terms you would prefer. And if it's up to you, always prefer Ex Works. Export pricing strategy is really important, especially for those who want to start their own brand. There'll be a lot of you who have your own brand in India, and you would like to take that brand outside India. So there are lots and lots of pricing strategy which you can use with. You can start with low pricing, you can start with high pricing, depending on your target market, depending on your segment. And then export price calculation is different from normal pricing, domestic pricing, because here you have that extra packaging thing which is required, which you need to ask your client beforehand. Also, in terms of the shipping terms, if it is CIF, you need to add up the whole price. So make sure you have all the details when you're doing export pricing. What are the factors influencing your profit margin? It is about volume, it is about doing boutique sales, it's about the value addition you're doing, all that matters. Also, the economic situation of the buyer's country, what kind of selling patterns are there, all those are influencing factors for your profit margins. And the most important part, once the margins are set and once everything is due, is to have secure international payments. During this last almost an year, I have been talking to lots and lots of people who are interested in exports. And trust me, I've heard so many stories about people losing money because they have not really gone to the right way. First thing, the thumb rule, the paper has to go from bank to bank. Whatever method you choose, whether it's DP, DA, LC, or whatever document method you choose, it has to be bank to bank. If you're sending it directly to the client, you are actually gone. Best payment method is, of course, 100% advance. The next best is to get almost 70-80% before the shipment and leave maybe your profit margin to them for some credit. But if your client or your industry wants credit, take it on a irrevocable confirmed LC with a good category bank. Whenever someone comes to you, the first thing you should do is check the country rating, check the company rating, and then ask for references, check with them about them, and then only think of doing business. Secure international payment is the most important part of the export cycle. And then comes financing your exports. There are lots of ways you can finance your exports. You can get packing credit if you have LC thing. You can get, once the LCs is given, you can give the money directly from them. There is Exim Bank, which gives you money, but it's 5 crore plus. There are some international banks which help you with money for exports, but normally the volume or the money size has to be pretty sizable. Indian government initiatives. Indian government has, of course, the drawback on every export you do. Of course, it's less now, but still you get 1.8 to 2% of export drawback into various products. You get MEIS scheme, MDA scheme, you get interest subsidy, you get to travel outside India when the things open up. You can exhibit outside India through the MDA schemes. And there are lots and lots of initiatives which the Indian government has. So if you're part of SOTEX, if you're part of Export Promotion Council, you'll keep hearing about these initiatives and a lot more initiatives. How to check buyer's genuinity? Well, I told you very clearly initially, whenever a buyer comes to the time of negotiation, check about the country rating first. Check about the buyer's rating first. You can get the buyer's credit rating through BND or even ECGC. You can get that report for maybe 2,000 to 2,500 rupees about the credit portfolio of that country. And of course, lot of factors will find out. I mean, in terms of payment terms, in terms of timely schedules, in terms of whether he's keen to do the basic terms which are normally prevalent in your industry. So you need to find out the buyer's genuinity before actually plunging on to start the work. What are the risks and challenges? Of course, there are risks and challenges. If you don't check the credibility of people, if you don't check what they've been up to, if you don't check their references, you are bound to have losses. For any business you do, whether in India or across India, you need to be really safe in playing that and do by the method, go by the method, and do always payment method through bank. That is something really, really important. So export documentation is something which you need to understand, the Incoterms, the pricing strategy, also the financial stability and security of your money, Indian government initiatives, and everything has to be known to you before even thinking of sending any emails. And what is more important is to find out the role of marketing and communication in export. How marketing can build your brand internationally, how you can maximize, your communication. And a lot of people ask us that, I send so many emails to so many potential buyers, but we don't get any reply. That is because the right communication need to go. And to tell you all about that, I'm going to invite my friend Gagan. Gagan, please guide us for the role of marketing and communication in exports. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Sandeep, for talking to us so far in the past 20 minutes about the importance of building a set base on how you are going to put the foundation to build your exports. Now, we are also going to talk about in section 4, the role of marketing and communications in exports. Unfortunately, it is one of the most ignored segments in international business. And that is why we decided to talk about this in this particular section. So first, let's see what does marketing do for you really. And let's talk about the 5 reasons why marketing is super, super important for exports. First of all, when we are talking about marketing, we need to see that marketing actually informs your current buyers or prospective buyers is about your exact business. What do you actually do? And it's a process of constant information of this of your business is what is going to make sure that people are able to know about that business more and more and more. The next part is, how are you engaging? Marketing is also about engaging with your current customers. If you're already engaging, it's great. But even if there are certain prospects who are there whom you got in touch with, are you making sure that you are constantly informing them and engaging them? When you say engage, you actually persuade them to respond back in some way or the other, which means you actually market and send them some very relevant stuff which is good for them. When you are 7 seas away, somebody is sitting in US, somebody is sitting in Europe, and you are here in India, engagement is very important because it is very easy for you to actually get off their eyes. Even we have seen somebody who did business with them, they think that they are going to come back to me next year. It has not happened to them, and that is the biggest challenge. Then, along with that, we also need to see, are we building enough reputation with our members, with all the people who are buyers who are there? And how are you going to build this reputation? Building reputation is something what we need to do time and again. Your capacity, what you are supposed to do, what is your infrastructure, and all what is matters which can build enough reputation for you in a particular scenario. If you don't build enough reputation, customer is not going to get the confidence to buy from you, and you cannot afford to do that. A lot of people who a customer has contacted has not bought from them, it is because they probably did not showcase their branding well, their facilities well, and their processes well. If you won't show it, people won't get that confidence. So you need to take care of that. After that, your marketing helps you effectively sell. It is the constant process of marketing which helps you convert these, and ultimately it helps you grow your business. So marketing has a very key role to play when it comes to your international exports. And if you do not build that trust with the effective branding and marketing, 50% of the times you're going to lose that business. I can guarantee you that. It happens to most of us, right? So we thought that first step in marketing, why not talk about it today? There are 3 kinds of people whom you need to market to, whom you need to send out your prospective messaging to. Now, these are number 1, prospects, number 2, leads, and number 3, customers. We all have heard leads and customers very well, and we basically, between prospects and leads, we mix each other. Sometimes we call them prospects, sometimes we call them leads. So why have I actually put it in the 3 factors, 3 different parts? Customers, we all know. The reason why I have done that is very important to understand that a prospect is different from lead. How? Let's talk about it. When I talk about a prospect is someone who could be out there who doesn't know you yet, but could be a potential for you. Now, these are the people, when you go to an exhibition, you know that there are going to people who are going to turn up there. They are your prospects. You are going in search for prospects, and you go to the places where your prospects also come. You do digital marketing, you expect that your prospects will be there and somebody will respond. These are all your prospects, right? You've come to Sotex I've joined Sotex. You know that there's going to be potential prospects for you. Now, these are the people when you go to an exhibition, you know that there are going to people who are going to turn up there. They are your prospects. You are going in search for prospects, and you go to the places where your prospects also come. You do digital marketing, you expect that your prospects will be there and somebody will respond. These are all your prospects, right? You've come to Sotex as I've joined Sotex. Now that is prospects. The number two thing what is there is leads. Now out of some of these prospects, once you communicate it to them, some of these prospects are going to respond and say, yes, I am interested in your product or service. It is these who become leads, who have shown interest in you, is who become your leads. And when these leads get converted and they finally buy from you is what becomes customer. So you need to identify who are your prospects, who are your leads, who are your customers. And why I am telling you this is because there is a different mechanism to handle and to communicate with prospects, to communicate with leads, and to communicate with customers, and there is a different purpose for it. Let's first talk about your prospects. First of all, you need to identify what kind of prospects are you going to reach to. You need to segment them really well. Are they going to be top quality, what they are looking at, or they are looking at sustainability, or they are looking at quantity? It could be anything. But a person for whom quantity is there is a different kind of communication required. A person who talks about sustainability, Australia talks a lot about textile and sustainability. So you need to think about that am I speaking to them in their language? The communication has to be different. And so is the difference when somebody is actually looking at bulk quantities, mass bookings and all that. They are mainly talking about quantities. So maybe you know that a mid-level quality and a bulk quantity is acceptable with them, but you need to ask them this thing. So what you need to do, you need to identify these set of people, have a message specific to them, and then identify by which channels you are going to reach out to them. And we are going to talk about some of the channels very soon. Now, out of these set of people, as I said, some of them will become leads for you. So what you need to understand is, how am I going to constantly increase the number of leads? People who have shown interest in me are going to come to me. And this is why you go and participate in exhibitions these days, virtual exhibitions. Then you end up going to doing digital marketing. You end up going to conferences and events. And once some of the people have shown interest in you, what is going to happen is that you need to see how you are going to build trust in these set of people. And once you show them your reputation, your capacity, your project management style, your way of dealing, your branding, everything grows the confidence for a buyer in you. And once that confidence grows, slowly and slowly they start trusting you, and then they get converted into leads. So there is an impactful communication which is required even at the lead stage. And that is when get converted into business. And once we do that, they all become your customers. Once we convert them, they become your customers. It is so very important that you deliver a world-class experience to your customers. Sandeep is going to talk about it a bit more. But more important also is that apart from delivering this world-class experience, you need to see, are you increasing your customer lifetime value? It is not about one-time business. How are you delivering constant value to them, engaging them, as I said, that they become your long-term customer and not once or twice. So every single thing, you cannot have a compromise in it. And then how do you get more business from your current customers is a question which you need to ask. In fact, this is again one of the most ignored segments. How to get business from your current customers. We never ask referrals to our current customers. And that's a big challenge. In fact, let's say you've got an entry into Sweden or Germany. And it is very difficult to get entries into these countries. What you need to do, the easiest way to penetrate into that country is to ask your current customer, the new customer which you've just formed, to tell them, can you please refer me to 2 good people as good as you so that I can provide value to many others in Germany, now that you have seen our services. Constantly make it a habit to have this conversation with your customer. You will see it is going to tremendously help you. So this is all about our customers. And once we have done that, let's also see how are we going to add value and what are the channels of communication we need. These are the 5 channels of communication which we have listed out. Number 1 is the email marketing. Number 2 is the word of mouth marketing. Then we talk about the digital marketing. Your website is the fourth one, and your exhibitions and events is the fifth one. Let's talk a little about each one of them. Your email marketing, it is in fact the best method for direct response marketing. And do not send mass emails. You need to make them as personalized as possible. Always do a WIIFM. What's in it for them? Not for you. You people just keep talking about their product, their product, their product. No. You need to think about what's in it for them. It's only the challenges when you address in these emails, then they relate to you, and that is when you're going to get responses. And keep your emails short. Do not send them long emails. They do not have the patience to read all of that, right? And keep gathering the email data where not there is easily you can buy data, but that is what I'm saying. You need to meet people, gather their email, and then send them value step and connect with them. The second way of channel of communication is actually the word of mouth marketing. It is again one of the most effective marketing channels. This is the referrals which I'm talking about, which you should get. And somebody refers you to someone. The chances of closure are 70% higher for the business which you do through or business which you close through referral marketing. So you need to constantly ask your customers, run a referral program, showcase your reviews constantly from your current customers. It is going to deeply, deeply help you. Let's talk about the two more channels, which is digital marketing and website and exports. And Sandeep, I would like to ask you about the digital marketing and websites. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, Gagan, I'm sure it's always been important, but more so now. I mean, since the COVID times, everything is happening online, all meetings, all exhibitions, everything is online, and digital marketing has really become an important part of it. And not only digital marketing, your digital presence in general. So we're going to talk about why digital marketing. A lot of people ask me why digital marketing, and I say, why not digital marketing? You have 2.7 billion monthly users on Facebook. You have 760 million users of LinkedIn, 1 billion users of Instagram, and 2 billion users of YouTube. I'm not saying all of them are your buyers, all of them are your customers, but then you can segment and focus on the kind of people you are looking at. There are tools available on these platforms where you can actually focus the right kind of people you are looking for your B2B connects, for your B2C connects. And of course, building expert-oriented website is the first key, is the beginning of your digital journey. You need to make sure that all the websites are, first of all, phone savvy. That 80% of people open the website on phone. Of course, on tablet, on laptops, and also on the big screens, the website should work. Number two, it should be more pictures and less text. And whatever text is there, it has to be relevant. It has to be having your keywords, which is very, very important. We're going to talk about that just now. So major fact is that it has to be mobile friendly, absolute mobile friendly. And why do we need landing pages? And what are landing pages? Landing pages are like websites only, but they're focused on one particular product. On your website, you might have 10, 15, 20, 30 products. But if you have some new innovation, if you have a product which you want to focus for your export market, you create a landing page for that. And that landing page should have all the details about that product. It can be in different languages. Suppose you are focusing on Spanish market, so why not create a landing page on Spanish language? If you are focusing on Portuguese market, say Brazilian market, why not have a page, a landing page for that particular product in Brazilian language, in Portuguese language? Idea is to collect data, and data is the king, and the right data is the king. It's not about the number of emails you have, it is the right people email you should have. Importance of keywords in attracting customers. Whenever you write on Google, when you go out for dinner, you write out Chinese restaurant in Connaught Place or whatever, you give that long tail keyword and you'll find out the list and choose from there. Similarly, for your buyer to find you out, you need to sit and find out the keywords which will help your buyers from anywhere in the world to find you out. You have to sit with your team, create that list of single word, double word, or a long tail keyword. And all those 100 keywords you create have to be there in the blogs, the articles you make on your website or your website content, which will really attract more customers to your website. Choose your social media platform: LinkedIn, Insta, Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, YouTube. And of course, if you're focusing on European market, there are places like Zing and VRDO, which are more popular in Europe. So go the shortlisted 10 countries, find out which are the social medias which are more prevalent there, and maybe use them. But for the starter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Insta are a must for everyone. Build your expert image. Most of the people have this simple thing. Yesterday, we were consulting with a company and we found out that they are a B2B company only doing B2B work, but all their posts on social media for the last 1.5 years was about B2C. They were targeting individuals. And also, all the time you're selling, selling, selling. You have to create an expert image for your company. You have to write blogs, write articles, create videos, write posts, build engaging social media content, but show that expertise of yours. Show that you are a big expert of your field, of your textile industry, of whatever innovations you're doing in product. And only 20% of the time you drive sales. It's a 80-20 rule. 80% of time, your post should be educational, informational, personal interest, and inspirational. And only 20% of time, it should be promotional and to drive sale, and that too in a subtle way. Don't directly market on social media. LinkedIn and Facebook business pages to your company. You need to create business pages, not your personal profiles or personal pages. Business pages have a big advantage because all the people who like your business page will be able to see your post. All the friends on Facebook of 5,000 friends you have, 4,000 friends you have, if you write an article, it just goes to the first 300 people. And only how they react to that will go further. It will not go to the all 5,000 people or whatever number of friends you have. You need to create a social media calendar. A lot of time, people come with a bang, start putting posts every day, and after 2 months say that nobody has given anything to us, nobody has replied to us, and they just drop and stop doing this. No. Marketing, social media marketing, SEO, all these things are a long-term game. You have to be consistent. You have to create a calendar, maybe 2 posts or 3 posts a week, depending on what kind of strategy you have, and have it consistently. So create a social media calendar so that you don't miss out on things. A lot of people say, why should I advertise on social media? I can get it organically on LinkedIn, get connected and all that stuff. You can do that. Nobody is asking that it's mandatory, but it's a slow process. Organic growth is a slow process. Social media marketing, advertising on social media gives you increased exposure, increased traffic, providing you market insight, generating leads, developing loyal fans, improve search rankings, give business partnerships, reduce marketing expenses, and finally, improve sales. And what else you need? And digital marketing is the only way of marketing where you can find out the ROI, the return of your investment. If you invested 10,000 rupees, how many leads you have got? And from those leads, what is the conversion you have done? That is something you can do only on digital media. It's an amazing analysis available on social media platforms. So this is all about digital marketing, and it's a very important part. Your digital presence, your Zoom backgrounds, your signature where you have all the social media links or your website links is a must for everyone into export business. And channel 5 is about how exhibitions can help you scale up exports. And of course, to take you through this, no one other than Gagan, who's been doing exhibition for last 20 years and been doing physical as well as virtual exhibitions. Over to you, Gagan.
Thank you so much, Sandeep, for enlightening us about the digital media. And now let's talk about how exhibitions can help you scale up your exports. In fact, exhibitions is one of the key ways with which exporters seek business. So let's talk about it a bit. What are these? Your exhibitions actually give you exposure. It improves brand recall, audience who is yet unaware of your brand, database of new prospects. That is what the exhibitions can do to you. Your exhibitions add a lot of credibility in your business. When you go out and you are presenting in a particular exhibition, your brand comes across as reliable and trustworthy. You are showcased among the reputed. And with a good sales team and a trained sales team, it can be further strengthened. Further, exhibitions help you interact with the audience. Exhibitions is a way of one-to-one communication, direct communication, live feedback of your product, unadulterated feedback. You will immediately get to know what people are liking your product or not, right? Face-to-face marketing cannot be beaten. And even in the virtual exhibition time, there is a possibility of doing face-to-face marketing. And it helps you form a strong bond with your audience. That's what the exhibitions can do to you. Your exhibitions can give you instant information. What are buyers looking for? And analyze if your product has that, because that is very, very critical. And it's also important for you to develop new products. And what kind of product information you get from the exhibitions, what locations buyers are coming from, knowing the market of your product or services, new products, which can be a threat, your competition, the new technology advancements, all of this you should know. And so as an exporter, you definitely need to make sure that you are participating in more and more exhibitions and evaluating and reaching out. Exhibitions is also a great way to get more and more buyer data. And Indian government has a lot of plans with which they give you subsidy over traveling and exhibitions, 50% at times and sometimes even more. So you should use and exhibitions as a great tool to get more and more business and explore new countries. So now let's talk about the exhibitions we're talking about. Still, the physical exhibitions haven't started. We see some of the regions in the world have started seeing or hearing about exhibitions, but still the pandemic is there, and mass marketing or mass gathering initiatives are still very limited. So what is the way? The way out right now is virtual exhibitions. And as a lot of you could see, Sonal was also talking about the FICCI exhibition, the exhibition which is going to run throughout the year. And this could be a great opportunity for you. So we thought, why not we tell you about virtual exhibitions a bit, right? Because what we are thinking or we are seeing is that the businesses just can't stop selling, right? They have to keep selling. Continuous efforts are still required at your end. A new normal is setting up, frankly. And what is that new normal? That virtual may be the way going forward along with physical. And what we are seeing is that with this virtual world, you can actually reach globally sitting at your home, right? Invest in digital. And that is why it is very important to invest in digital and virtual media to have a better digital presence. That is becoming very, very important. So we thought, why not show you one such exhibition which happened recently and how it really works. What is a virtual exhibition? So a virtual exhibition works exactly like first you go onto a website. The moment you log in, you actually see, you get into this kind of a big area, the lobby area, and you see there are a lot of things which are there. You have exhibit hall, you have the conference hall, network, lobby, down, if you see so many links which are there. So you could actually just click them, go into these links, and the moment you click one of these, in that case, I clicked the conference link, and I saw that you have live interactive sessions, seminar lounge. So I can click any one of them and go into that. And there is an exhibitions button which is there at the bottom. Apart from the seminar lounge and the auditorium, you can also click the exhibition hall button. And the moment I click exhibition hall, you will notice that I'm walking inside the exhibition hall. And once I get into the exhibition hall, you get a similar kind of a 3D view. While this is a hybrid model where you see 3D views, but there are virtual exhibitions which are even fully 3D and even 2D as well. So this is a way with which a lot of 3D, a lot of booths are displayed. You see different colors, different branding, as if you are presenting your booth. So I decided, okay, let me click one of these booths so that I can see them better. Now, this is where the booth interaction happens with your brand, right? A visitor interacts with your brand. You see, on the left, there is video list. On the middle, you can actually see your branding. Some videos can be played, brochures, visiting cards are there. But on the left-hand side, they can access all your videos. They can see a lot of documents which you have, which are documents, which are brochures of various kinds. You can chat with the booth staff, right? Request a callback if you want to. On the right hand side, you see all your sales teams, 2, 3, 4 of your sales team members can be listed here. Then social media. Now that is important. This is where people will be able to see your website, your Facebook, your LinkedIn profile. Now that is very important. And if required, and only if a person, a visitor feels confident, they are going to click this link of video, start the video conference, and they will do a video conference with you. But why will they do a video conference with you in a virtual exhibition? It is only when they get that confidence. Remember, we spoke about trust. If you do not build trust, they will not reach out to you and they will just pass on and go to the next stall. What you need to do to build that trust is be digitally ready. And for this, what is happening, what is more becoming prevalent is actually that earlier the things which were just occasional are becoming mandatory. These are having a great video. You should have some good videos, a good product catalog, your brochures, a great website to present yourself, and a great social media presence. As Sandeep said, are you posting them right? These are all the very critical things which are becoming mandatory. So overall, exhibitions is a great way. If not physical, virtual exhibitions is the way. And once you have done your marketing through exhibitions and through various channels with digital marketing, it's time that you've gathered a lot of leads. Now it's time for you to convert those leads into effective sales. How do you do that? Let Sandeep talk about it. Sandeep, over to you to talk about how do you convert these leads into sales.
Thank you so much, Gagan. And if you see from the beginning, I just want to sum it up. We started with shortlisting countries, found out buyers, talked about documentation, legal procedures, and all the way secure payments, talked about the marketing strategy, the communication, the digital marketing, use of exhibition, and all that is to gather lots and lots of leads, and then prospects are made. And it's time now to do prospecting and finalizing and getting the buyers in and convert the sale, which is, of course, always the important factor. But is it the same as in domestic sale? No. We need to create a country-wise sales target and plan. And when I say about that, first thing I always ask is, are you export sales ready? And what does that mean? That means the kind of information you send for your product, is it complete? Does it include all the parameters, the size, the weight, the packing things which are available to them, what kind of volume it will create in terms of calculation of a container? Like if somebody says this is a product, how many products will fill in 120-feet container? You should have all the answer. You should have a matrix of calculation when you sit with your client to finalize something, that if we change some specifications, you are able to find the costing there and then. These are needed to make sure that you don't have to tell him, I will get back to you. And what it means is that for your product, you should be completely ready with all possible permutation and combinations. And of course, the bandwidth of price, like this is the minimum I can go. Of course, maximum is not a problem. So you need to be ready with that. And then you need to study the international competition. You need to find out what those people are offering, which you can do better. Maybe in quantity they are doing better. Maybe in quality and smaller boutique orders we can do better. Depending on your industry, depending on your infrastructure, how you can compete with your international and domestic competitors is something you need to really, really be very clear on. And of course, prospecting your buyer. If you are meeting a buyer for a potential kill of a sale, you should try and get as much information as possible through online medium, through their websites, through whatever ways, there are 1,000 ways possible to find out about that person, the hierarchy, the kind of business they do, what kind of quantum they have, how do they sell, what are the channels of selling. So try to get as much information as possible, especially if they are a big company. That would really help you in terms of negotiating better. So when you go to a negotiation skill table, when people negotiate, or in my 21 years experience, I have gone through all kind of possible negotiation skills tried on me. And initially, of course, it was difficult for me to get through it, but with time, we learned the art. It's about showing your emotion, leaving your emotions out of the table, showing your smile, but a poker face. Never show happiness, never show that you're tense, never show that you're angry. Whatever it is, keep it inside. Try to show a poker face. Let them do major talking. Let them feel that they're leading, but then get them to the point what we need for. This is what we talk about. In our masterclass, we have almost 1 hour session on negotiation skills and how you can really negotiate better with any buyer you get anywhere in the world. And of course, follow-up has always been important for exports. And follow-up is different in exports, though. You can't be very aggressive in follow-up, like in domestic way, we keep calling, we keep telling. In international business, you have to go with a system. You have to send maybe an email reminder or whatever communication method they have chosen. You can send them a reminder after 6-7 days. But the crux is never leave the client, never leave the follow-up till the time they say yes or a no. Keep sending them emails. And trust me, I have seen this happening with me. I am able to cross business after a year, after 14 months, after 16 months with the same clients. Maybe not the same business, but some business. So keep the follow-up on, keep the communication on. Closing international sales. A lot of coaches say that closing is the biggest part of any sales process. But I would say in international business, it's not as important as it is in a domestic sale. Because international sales are majorly about big quantum, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 worth of a sale. They're not going to decide there and then. In India, our people, our business owners have this habit of finalizing things the way because they are the owners. But in most of the companies outside, most of the buyers outside, it's not just one person owned company. So they go back, deliberate things, and then decide. If it's a smaller order, $4,000 or $5,000, they might be able to close it. But then closing techniques is something you need to learn. And there are a lot of techniques to kind of deadlock and take out of that and close the deal. And this is something, again, we tell in detail in our masterclass. So there are some sales strategies which you need for consistent international business, consistent international sales. Increase penetration in your existing market. Wherever you are exporting, increase the penetration. Introduce new product lines. Open up new sales channel and distribution channels. Talk to your partners. Make a relationship and to ask them how we can increase business. Look out for new client segments. Target new export segments. In fact, if they are non-competing businesses, ask them to refer you to someone who can take another segment. Understand the language, the culture for better conversion. As I told you, if you send the emails, communication, if you send your landing pages into different languages, the languages which they love, the languages which they speak, of course, you'll find better conversion. And bottom line is never stop looking for opportunities to grow sales. And most important in international business is grow relationship, build relationship, always be in touch with your client. I won't say make him very friendly, but be friend with him. You are able to talk to them on a regular basis and how we can build our business together, how we can build our relationship together. And that is the key to international business. If you've heard about lifetime value of a client depends on you. From the same client, you can get 5 million worth of business or just one container. It all depends how you build up the relation, how you keep the communication on. And of course, everything boils down to massive action. You've done everything possible by the book, what we have told you. But if you're not taken consistent, massive action on whatever is being discussed, nothing's going to happen. Action is the key. Action speaks louder than the words. It has to be massive action for you. We say that if your idea, don't flirt with it, marry it. So marry the idea of exporting, go all out, take massive action. And of course, you will surely have amazing sales happening for you. So we discussed about the sales strategy and what all you need to learn to actually be ready for sales outside India. And of course, things like prospecting, negotiation, follow-up, closing, all these techniques need to be learned and you should be thorough at that. And finally, the deal is done, you got the order, something which we really need to change in India, something for which me and Gagan is always saying, changing the way India sells overseas. is about the effective export deliveries. And India, trust me, ladies and gentlemen, is not really known for that. We are improving. We have improved a lot, but still a long way to go. And those of you who want to start exports, and those of you who are here, I would say make this your priority. Start with the end in mind. Make sure you're using tools. We're using CRM tools, data capturing tools, email strategies. For email strategies, you use things like MailChimp or HubSpot or a lot of other tools. Export documentation, you can have certain tools which are available. And of course, if you're a bigger manufacturing setup, you can use project management tools. So tools are a great way of really streamlining your operations and doing great deliveries together. For every client, there has to be one single point project manager, and that manager need to do all kind of time management and communicate all the time the right thing, the right status. A lot of bigger companies even have online presence where they actually show you as a client, I can log in and see what is the status of my project. Yes, people are doing that. So that is very important. Take care of time management and communication. Quality of your product is paramount. The services and standards and QC need to be done in the right way. QC at the time of raw material purchase, QC at the time of conversion, QC at the time of packing, and of course, before delivery, all the aspects need to be changed. There has to be a system, there has to be supervision, and you have to make sure that it happens all the time for every product you export. The packing standard and deliveries need to be 100%. The packing standards ask the client in the beginning itself what kind of things they need, and the packing things need to get ready along with the production line so that when the product is ready, you are able to do the packing and do the packing in the right way, with the right slips, with the right packing is something which is really required. And of course, deliver on time every time. It has to be a day before, never a day after. Make sure, as I said, start with the end in mind. And what to do after delivery. A lot of people say, my job is done, I've done my delivery. What to do after that? Well, that's the time when we say that start building the relationship, start communicating, tell them that the shipment is handed over, send them the papers as soon as you get through the bank. And of course, follow it up, tell them that when the container has reached them, ask them, have you got it? Once they got it, ask them, hope it's fine. Ask them for the quality of the product. And after a month or so, ask them, how are they selling? Keep in touch. That would really make your relationship grow. And trust me, relationship is what makes the international business grow. 1x, 2x, 5x, 10x. It all depends on how you build up the relationship. So please focus on building relationship with your existing buyers or the new buyers you get. So what we have covered today about sales process and also the delivery is that there has to be a constant communication and always start with the end in mind. And the delivery has to be impeccable, good quality, on time, every time, with good packing standards. And what all we have covered today, let's just look back. We talked about the 8 steps for introspection, 6 factors which will influence your export globally, finding out the countries, basically shortlisting the countries and getting the buyers data. Talked about all the export documentation and legal stuff, role of marketing, exhibitions, communication, digital marketing into creating a brand and also getting leads for you, how to really close the sales, and finally, how to make effective export deliveries. And let's talk about something even more effective. And I like to ask Gagan to help us take through this, that how we can really make it even more effective. Gagan.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sandeep, for talking about the sales as well as talking about the project management and deliveries. Now, initially, we did speak about the importance that what we do is, this is one of the masterclass where we give important knowledge about the exports, but there is something more which we of course do. We run an 8-week program, which is called as Export Growth and More 4.0, whereby we take up 8 sessions online program, 2.5 hours each, twice every week. This is a special program which we run very regularly. Every month or two, this program comes in, and one such program is starting on this Saturday, which is the 9th of January. Now, what all we cover in this is an 8-session program, as I said. We cover 8 steps to define your export readiness quotient, 6 factors which is going to help you grow your exports. We talk about documentation, legal requirements, and subsidies. Then we talk about marketing and communication in exports. We then also talk about the impact of digital marketing, the role of exhibitions, every single thing, what we covered in, let's say, 10 or 15 minutes, we have full 2.5 hour session for each one of them. And if you work along with us, we can guarantee you that you will be able to start and export vertical along with us. How this program really helps the existing exporters. Our existing exporter friends can increase their sales by 5 times. Yes, it is possible to do that. Identify and expand your base by another 2,000 buyers. Identify and start working in at least 10 more countries. Yes, we are going to give you a system of expanding your base to another country. Save your exports cost by 5 to 15% by the processes which we are going to tell you. For the new exporters, it's also very, very exciting. You can identify 3 countries to start exporting and close business quickly. From zero to the knowledge of 1,000 buyers in just 8 weeks. You can gain knowledge, complete knowledge of export processes and documents to appear credible and experienced to a new buyer, and be able to have an export vertical up and running in 6 to 10 months. All of this, what we are talking about, in the pre-COVID times, in the physical world, we ran at a price of 25,000 rupees. We also consult, and our consulting also costs quite a bit. And a session like this with both of us also costs another 25,000 rupees. We are clubbing both of these, so 25,000 of 8 sessions along with our consulting for one session where we can make your business plan, costs a total of 50,000 rupees to anybody who's an outside person. But with Sotex, we have created a special program, 8 session program, plus the consulting session. With 50,000 of the actual price, we have converted and created it at the price of 9,999 plus GST, comes out to about 11,799. We are running this program starting this particular Saturday, 4 p.m. And there are only 20 seats and we already have some seats filled up. So in case there is something what you need to do with your export strategy, this is the time for you now to do that. While now at this point, I would also request our Sotex team to please put in the link for the payment for this on the group, on the chat box, so that if anybody, there you go, Sotex team has already put it. If you can click it, you will straight away be able to go to the payment link and pay for the program. As I said, there are many people. There are more than 200 people on this thing right now. You would be able to see. You would be able to really, if you want to do that, this is your chance to do that. Sandeep, would you like to talk about it? Yes.
Yeah, absolutely, Gagan. So I like to say the major challenge I have seen for exporters in the last almost year and a half, where we've been talking to lots and lots of exporters, and we have trained a lot of exporters. First one is that we've been sending emails and we are not getting the reply. And that is something you will explore why it is not happening. And we really go deep dive into that marketing strategy. It will really change the way you do business and you will get the responses. Number 2 is about a proper way of doing the credibility check of the buyer. There are various ways. Of course, we talked about the few here. There's some other ways with which you can find out the buyer's genuinity. And thirdly, about the payment. The secure payment is the most important part for any business. And the structured approach, the way you build up your business entirely will depend and help you in learning everything. And a lot of people have gained from this. We have in our batches, we have people who are just starting the business. We have people who've been doing business for 2-3 years. And there are people who've been doing business for 20-30 years. And in fact, today we invited one of our batch mates who actually joined the session almost 2 or 3 months back. I would like to invite Mr. Lalit Arora. He's here with us. He's an exporter from Rajasthan, from Jaipur, and he's been exporting for almost 30 years. And when he took this session, like he was also part of the session like this, and after that he was talking to me and he said, Sandeep, do you think you can add some value to me now? I mean, I've been doing business for so many years. I said, Yes, I mean, I've also been doing business for 21 years. But what I've learned over the years, and especially being a tech savvy person coming from a computer background, that there are lots and lots of things which you can do sitting at home. And that is something you will take away from us. And a lot of marketing strategies, which Gagan talks about, the way you communicate to your client and what's in it for them. That's something we need to really work on, or what problem you are solving for them. So, Mr. Lalit, are you there?
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, Lalit ji. Good to see you here. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good to see you back here. And
Yeah, same here.
I also think that he is now the vice president for gear, or I mean, Gagan, correct me if I'm wrong. You are muted, Gagan.
Absolutely, absolutely,
Yeah.
Sandeep. He is the Vice President for Garment Export Association of Rajasthan, and it's a privilege to have you, Lalit. Why don't you please talk about your experience of our program?
Uh, it was absolutely wonderful experience. Actually, when I was to join this course, I was bit skeptical as I was thinking that I'm into this business for last 30 years. So I know almost everything about the export business at my business. So, but anyway, the same presentation what you are doing today, I attended this presentation, and I was quite curious to know what else or how I can expand my business. As you said, many-fold you can the business can be expanded if we go through your course. So I had a personal conversation with Mr. Sandeep, and he assured me you join the course, and then you will experience what you will. And really, when I joined your course, even in the first session, when you explained about the HSN code and how you can find the potential market, potential buyers, and the import duties, and many other things, which actually I was not knowing that HSN code can be used to, to get so many informations. And other than this, how this digital tools actually we have been working for so many years, but in the coming time, the digital tools for the marketing and communication, the way you explain in your sessions were very informative, which was also very useful for my business. And moreover, the way you explain how we can find the reliable buyers and how we should negotiate them, though we have been doing all these things, but definitely we got a new way of working. Many new things. I would say that it was a really wonderful course for even for the exporters who are into this business. And I recommend all the participants that they should join this course.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Lalit ji. And congratulations on becoming the vice president of gear. And I'm sure you'll do a lot of value addition to your team. And I would say that the only change we have done from your time to now is that now we are doing 2 sessions a week, and we finish out the whole training in 1 month. The reason being there's a lot of demand for the training, and we are not able to do 2 parallel batches. So we are doing 1 batch, finish it in a month, and then start the other one. So I think we will keep talking about, and we'll be showing some other testimonials to you as well. But I think it's time to take some questions. Gagan, let's take some questions and then go back and maybe show some more testimonials from the similar industry. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, first question is from Mr. Rashid Zubair. He says, kindly advise for export quota for textiles and other products from India. I'm not sure what he's talking
about. Well, there is no quota for exports. I mean, you can do as much export as you want. And there is nothing like a specific quota for it, as far as we know. I mean, I don't think there's a quota. You can export as much as you want.
Vinod Sahani says, for a long time, job professional, engaged in exports of RMG, and now want to start on its own, but have very small appetite for investing. What would you suggest? My vast experience is my best asset.
So we know experience is always good. So there are a couple of things you can do. If you don't want to do a job, I think the one thing you should do is look at doing merchant export. Find out manufacturers who are not really thinking of doing export directly. Do a good credit setting with them so that whatever credit terms you set up with your buyers outside India, you set up almost similar credit terms with the manufacturers here in India so that you don't have to invest. If you have to invest only on creating your brand, your website, your company, all that is not very, all that is not much of a money. The major money comes when you actually do export or manufacture yourself. And that is something you need to avoid right now if you don't have appetite for money. But if you have experience, I'm sure it is going to help you out. But yes, you should know each and every part of export business, how to focus, how to find products, what kind of products are doing well in the market, do complete data analysis so that you choose the right product.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Sandeep. The next question is from Mr. S. Dash. Can we discuss, which I think I can answer that. Can we discuss the scope of work included in the consultancy part? What will be the scope of it? And I mean, how can you help and grow along with us? And how long will you be with us? So, Mr. Dash, this is, yes, you are right. We do end up taking a consultancy for exports as well. A lot of people who are who some of them go into the training part. Many of the exporters come along with us for a long-term association, whereby we get attached to them as a consultant, and for the next 1 year we get into a contract of minimum 1 year, whereby we promise that we are going to make your export vertical up and running with regards to all the aspects, your systems and processes, your marketing, your advertising, your finding buyers, moving in a particular country and moving into several countries. And we know that it takes a bit of a time. It is just not a get quick rich scheme that 2 months we are going to make you. It takes time. That is why we get associated with you for a period of 1 year minimum. And there are many exporters who got benefit and they are continuing with us because we are getting them entry into one after the other country. So yes, it is possible. Reach out to the SOTEX team to talk more about the consulting. They will connect you to us and we can talk about. All right. So after this, there is another question, Sandeep. This is related to imports. If you would like to answer it, I'm not very sure.
What is it?
Arun Kharbanda says it's wonderful presentation by panelists. Thank you so much, Arun. Congratulations. I have a question which is a different subject, he says. Any idea of 0% import duty under EPCG is going to continue after 31st March, which is going to get expired if not extended? Thanks.
Well, Mr. Kharbanda, thank you so much for asking us. I would love to be so powerful that I can actually go inside and look at the systems happening, but we are absolutely not aware of that as of now. I think it's going to be government policy and we'll be able to know only in March. Thank you.
All right, great. So Mr. Rashid Zubair, he says, I meant export quota in import country. I'm still not sure about.
Why don't we unmute Mr. Rashid? And
I'm going to try and do that. Mr. Rashid Zubair, I'm going to allow you to talk. You are now on the. You can unmute yourself now, and you will be able to speak. Please speak out your question, Mr. Zubair.
No, for example, if we are exporting to US, there is an import quota. They will this many quantity you can export. That is what I was meant.
Depend on your HSN code. You just share the HSN code. We'll tell you all the details about that, Mr. Rashid. Actually, there are very, very few products for that which quota is there. But otherwise, more or less it's an open market, and you can do as much export, as much import possible anywhere in the world, depending on the requirement. But sometimes on some specific products, it might be a quota. Like especially at this time, anything to do with COVID products, like the PPE kits and all that stuff. Of course, there are quotas everywhere. So, but in general, depending on the product, what product do you sell, Mr. Rashid?
No, actually, I'm not into textile. I'm into agriculture related, but I was preferring to export of textiles also. So that's why I was attending the program.
Rashid, there may be due to the World Trade Organization's guidelines, it is practical it is very inappropriate for any country to actually put up a quota, because this is against the free trade agreements which people have signed. Yes, certain countries do employ some higher duties to avoid or to discourage the flow of external products into their country. This is about the duties, but otherwise there is a free trade agreement, and as per WTO, and you should not have any problems, except of course for some of the banned products, or for some of them which are very sensitive and hazardous products. You may need special kind of certifications.
Like even
Okay.
at COVID times,
Thank
we
you.
had for the COVID products, the
Yes.
export, there was a quota, there was a ban at that time, then it opened up, and all that is happening. But that's only for very specific products. Other than majorly, I would say 99.9% of the market is open. You can do as much import and export as is required by you.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Gagan, in the meanwhile, I'll run another testimonial by Shifali. She's also a fashion designer. So let's hear from her. She was part of the first batch we did. Yeah.
Hi, this is Shifali from Ombre Craft, and we specialize in clothing made from natural fabrics. And we are currently there in Delhi, NCR, Himachal, Qatar, California, Australia, and we are growing. So I have been supplying to certain countries, but all through friends, acquaintances, not with a proper channel. And their export webinar series for me was like I just joined without giving it a second thought, because the channel they provide, the documentation they are helping us with, the way they talk about grooming your business, the way they are helping you make your research fully organized, it's phenomenal. It's a blessing in today's time when there is a lot of people are getting lost with respect to their business. It's very focused. Secondly, the support they give between the week, it makes you feel that they are genuinely there for you to help you grow. Lastly, I feel that the number of students per batch, as I see, are kind of limited. So the attention you get is very focused. So for me, it was a no-brainer. So wish you luck.
Yeah, Gagan. So
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, Sandeep, for sharing this. So with this, there is one more question which has just popped up. People are answering more and more, asking more and more questions, and we are happy to answer. So the question here is from Nilesh Dharia. Nilesh says, we are a manufacturer of memory foam, pillow products, and PU foam products. If we have a question specific to our business products, how do we take it up? Nilesh, you can again reach out to the SOTEX team. Sonil, if you can please help putting a number with which some of the people can reach out to, so that if there are any questions, if they have even outside the fashion and textile division, we will be happy to answer. We work across 36 different industries, so there should not be a problem answering to your particular query there. But yes, please reach out to the SOTEX team. They will forward your details to us, and we will be happy to answer your queries, Nilesh.
and also Dilesh, I would like to say that we had 2 or 3 people from your industry who are into memory foam and similar products of PU foam who actually attended our training programs, and we've had pretty good feedback from them in terms of learning through the program curve. So yeah, but any questions you have, please feel free to ask.
At this point, I would like to again remind each one of you that you have, there is a link which the SOTEX team has put in. This is the link for the payment of the 8-session program which we are running. The program, as you got to know, is for 9999 plus GST, which comes out to be 11,799 rupees for an 8-session program. And as you see, as you heard from Mr. Lalit Arora, the Vice President of GARE, or you heard from Shifali, this program for a lot of people who want to start exports is no-brainer. People attend it and get many folds business because of that. So we'll be happy to see you all in case you feel that exports is something which you want to do.
So if anyone of you have any question, please raise your hand and we will unmute you. You can ask your questions directly to us. In the meanwhile, Gagan, I can play another testimonial.
Yes, please go ahead.
Gagan, let me ask some questions on behalf of the people here. So while a lot of people a lot of our community members are from the fashion and textile background, and particularly it is hard for them to understand how to take up the opportunities which are there in the global and how to reach out to the buyers. Can you highlight as to how do you address this kind of questions in your program?
Yeah, I think, Sonil, first of all, as I said, we told during the program that we help them, first of all, identify the countries where they should focus, and then find out the buyers from various sources, which we tell them. And of course, they're not paid size, they're kind of free size where you can get a lot of information. And once you get the buyer's detail, we tell them what is to be communicated. I mean, the kind of communication which Gagan touched upon, as in what kind of problem you're solving for the client. And based on that, what kind of segments are there, then we help them in terms of the right communication, building up their expert image, and then doing pull marketing where then they start getting leads and people start asking, how can we work together? And of course, converting into sales and then repeating that into multiple countries. That is the way it is. And of course, every business has a unique way of selling. That is something, of course, that will come with time. But the course gives you the complete knowledge and know-how about what is to be done. But it has to be done by you. And normally for what it has to be done by you is done. I mean, if you want us to help you in terms of what is to be done in terms of specific, that is when the consulting comes in, where we do hand-holding and we meet every week for 2 hours and then make sure that you're doing everything right and follow the procedure, do the thing, actionable teams, you and your team, and then grow your exports. So these are 2 factors.
So one of the areas which I would like to highlight where their consultation adds a lot of value is the fact that it is a lot of data driven. So आज की डेट पे अगर आप देखेंगे कि इंडस्ट्री के अंदर बायर्स को ढूंढना और बायर्स को country wise segment करना. For example, some of you are into women's wear और women's wear में भी अगर आप skirts बनाते हैं तो वो skirts बनाने के अंदर अगर आपकी USP skirts की है, maybe you are doing embellished skirts or you're doing casual skirts or you're doing an embroidery based skirts, तो ये वाली जो skirts हैं ये कौन सी कंट्री में सबसे ज्यादा डिमांड में है, किस कंट्री में किस सीजन में वो ज्यादा बिकती हैं, वो skirts किस रीजन से वो प्रोक्योरमेंट होती है, उस कंट्री के अंदर सबसे ज्यादा इंपोर्ट कहाँ से होता है और उसका प्राइस टारगेट प्राइस क्या है जिसके अंदर वो इंपोर्ट होता है. सो ये लॉट ऑफ डेटा ड्रिवन एनालिटिक्स हैं जो आप अपने प्रोडक्ट की और अपनी सेगमेंटेशन की निकलवा सकते हैं. सो देयर आर सर्टेन साइट्स, देयर आर सर्टेन टूल्स जिसके अंदर आप मार्केट की असेसमेंट कर सकते हैं कि विच कंट्री इज इंपॉर्टेंट टू यू. एंड देन वंस यू नो एंड वंस यू आइडेंटिफाइड कि वो कौन सी कंट्री है जो आपके लिए इंपॉर्टेंट है, शायद आप काम कर रहे हैं या आप नहीं काम कर रहे हैं, यू वांट टू गेट एन एक्सेस टू इट, तो उस कंट्री के अंदर किस तरीके से किस मीडियम से आप एक्सेस कर सकते हैं. इज इट थ्रू वर्चुअल एग्जीबिशंस, फिजिकल एग्जीबिशंस, बायर एंड सेलर मीट्स, और इफ देयर आर एनी पर्टिकुलर वर्चुअल एरियाज या कहीं पे कोई सोर्सिंग प्लेटफॉर्म्स हैं, मे बी यू कैन कम टू सोटेक्स आल्सो. सो कैसे इन प्लेटफॉर्म्स के ऊपर आप आके उन बायर्स की नीड को आइडेंटिफाई कर सकते हैं. सो ये बहुत सारे डेटा पॉइंट्स हैं और टेक्नोलॉजी के थ्रू आज की डेट में मोस्ट ऑफ यू हैव बीन इनटू द स्पेस where you have done your business in a very different manner altogether. Yeah, you have been pioneer in your industry, but आज की डेट में क्या है कि industry is changing, the dynamics are changing. COVID has brought a very different way of doing business altogether. Digitization is becoming more evident. आप travel नहीं कर सकते, you cannot go to the buyers every now and then. So how do you still tap these opportunities? E-commerce में आप कैसे आ सकते हैं? E-commerce में क्या potential है? Not within India, also in the other countries. So a lot of those data points have been touched up in this particular session. So I would say Lalit ji has already given some of the highlights. other person who जिसका संदीप जी ने video दिखाया, she has given some highlights. So I mean, the idea is that, of course, there are so many elements that one can learn in this particular business. And when you are looking at exports, it is like one of the areas where India is just about 4% in terms of the apparel exports in the on the world stage. अगर आज की डेट में अगर हमें 4% का 8% भी करना है, where the China has to leave 50 से उनको अगर 45 भी आना है, so that is a huge and humongous opportunity which is there. But the idea is, how do we go out and tap to these opportunities when businesses, where people physical movement is quite restricted. तो कैसे आप अपनी वेबसाइट्स को डेवलप कर सकते हो, कैसे आप कीवर्ड्स को टैग कर सकते हो, कैसे आप एडवर्ड्स, गूगल अकाउंट्स, कैसे अपनी आप चीजें डिजिटाइज करके you can make your right presentations to the buyer. So a lot of those kind of synergies and attributes have been touched in this course, and it is just about 8 sessions. A lot of polishing can be done. Even if you want, you can join with your team members, and I'm sure there can be some synergies that can be made from the Sotex as well as Winning Mantra as to how we can bridge that gap for you. But the idea is that you should learn. There are certain new areas that have come up in the last few months. So people should go out and look for this particular new venues to tap the market. So
I think,
yeah.
I think Sonil, also the fact that, when we're looking out at the way it's happening, people get a lot of new ideas. And when the people work together in a small team, that is when there are a lot of collaborations happening, people looking at and learning from each other. So it's a great place to be, and I think we already have almost a full class, just very few seats left. So Sotex team will come back to you, and if you have any queries, please feel free to ask now, or you can check with them. And I would love to have some feedback on the session. Maybe if you'd like to give your feedback, we'll have another 4 or 5 minutes to wind up the whole thing. Please raise your hand and we will be happy to unmute you and listen from you. How do you like the session and how we can improve it also? If there is some feedback where you feel that this is something we should do in these sessions, so that Sotex and Winning Mantra, we can try and improve those sessions and give you more value. Looking forward for your feedback. Will be really, really helpful. We don't want you to do polls and all that. We'd love to hear from you directly. So please raise your hand and we will be happy to unmute you. I think nobody is coming forward. So
in case if there is no question, or in case if there is any concern relating to your business, particularly from the export side of you, or even if you have anything from the sourcing point of view. As I started the session, I did mention about the fact Sotex is a smart sourcing platform for fashion and textile industry. So in case if you're losing business or you're not able to cope up with the pressures or pricing pressures currently which is there in the system, please reach out to us. You can download Sotex app, which is absolutely for free, and we will be happy to take up your queries. We'll connect you to host set of buyers and suppliers in the ecosystem, depending upon what your concerns are. So the idea is that we are building up the digital community, and the community should be able to connect to do commerce, and that's the idea of building up and getting up on these kind of virtual sessions. So feel free, अगर आपको लगे कुछ भी अगर आप बात करना चाहें तो आपके chat box के ऊपर there is एक link है जहाँ पे आप अपना hand raise कर सकते हैं. You can also write it in your chat box. अगर कोई भी आपको कुछ भी कहना है, anything.
I would say if you are shying away from speaking, please write on the chat box what is your feedback to the session, and we can definitely wind it up in another 4 or 5 minutes. So I would like to start by thanking Sonil and Sotex Network for giving us this opportunity. We are able to give this knowledge sessions to the textile industry, specifically textile and fashion. And of course, there are some people from other industry as well. So thank you so much, Sonil and Sotex, for this opportunity. And definitely, it's our mission to keep adding value to people who like to start, build, and grow their export business. We're looking forward to welcome you at these courses, or if you want a consulting directly, if you are into business for a long time and want to start straight away with a consulting model, you can just be in touch with the SOTEX team. We share the number and the email, and wishing you all the best in 2021, and let's grow Indian export business into multiple ways. Gagan, over to you.
Absolutely. That's what you said, Sandeep. Truly, truly, I believe the same thing. And thank you again, Sonal, for creating this platform. That's number one. And then adding value, whereby a lot of people get this constant value on building the ways in which you can build their exports better and better and better. And yes, we have, this is, I would say, just that this today's masterclass was just the tip of the iceberg. We have so much in store for the people who really are passionate about starting their export journey. And we can definitely, along with SOTEX, can definitely help you do that.
Thank you. Over to you, Sonal.
I think we don't have too many questions at this point of time. People are quite, updated with the information at this point of time. We'll reach out to all the members who are participating in this today's session. We'll send you the details of the program over the email, and should you have any questions, the team will be able to answer you, or you can reach out to me personally. Also, the numbers will be shared to you through the teams, and if there is anything that we can help you out with, we'll definitely look forward to do that. Nilesh has sent a message saying that thank you, speakers and SOTEX team, for conducting a wonderful webinar. Thank you so much for sparing your time, and we look forward to hosting you once again with such knowledge sessions. So with this, I think we have concluded today's session. Gagan, any concluding statement that you would like to share?
All I would like to say is that we are looking forward to see many of you at our program, and do not hesitate a second when you have any information, what you need regarding exports. Reach out to us, reach out to the SOTEX team. They will give further information to us. We will be more than happy to help you with the queries.
I would say let's work together to change the way India sells overseas. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen.